This is the Chase Bliss Audio Warped Vinyl. It's a analog vibrato / chorus pedal. And this pedal is analog but digitally controlled. It is pretty complex. We got 6 knobs here. We got a bunch of switches here, and we also have a bunch of switches on the back of this pedal. And I will try to get to all of the switches in this demo. So first off, I'm playing on a Fender Stratocaster into a Vox AC30. And what you heard in the beginning was some overdrive from Free the Tone Red Jasper into the vinyl, warped vinyl, and into some Alter Ego X4 delay. And so here's my clean signal. Alright, so basically this pedal does modulation and vibrato, and can even do some tremolo. And I'll show you that a little bit later with some of the switches in the back. So ramp is a knob that controls the parameters that are set from the back, and we'll get to that later. And then volume is basic volume. We have mix. We can mix into our dry signal the affected chorus, vibrato, whatever we have going on. RPM is basically kind of time. This also has tap tempo. This is our kind of a modulation control here. They call it the modu shape. So modu shape, something like that. And we have depth and warp. This is very interesting. The warp controls basically the center point of the modulation. In the middle, the wave goes up and down evenly. To the left, the wave will ramp up quickly and go down slowly. To the right, will go ramp up slowly, go down quickly. So in the middle, we get sort of even. And then I'll turn this knob and hear what it does. And also we have controls of the wave shape for the beginning of the wave and the ending of the wave. We have sine wave, we have triangle, and we have square wave. And I was playing on the triangle settings on both the beginning and the end in this intro. And then we have tap tempo here. We have whole notes. We have half. So basically 1, 2, and 4. 4 is basically quarter notes per each tap. And then we can, in the back, we can switch to 3, 6, and 8. So let's get to it. Also, we have a preset switch here. We have 2 presets. We have a green and a red. In the middle is basically what the knobs are doing right now. And I'll show you how to save the presets. So let's keep this thing in the middle, and we have bypass, and we have tap tempo. So here's the warped vinyl. And basically we got clean signal, and blend the affected signal into the guitar signal, and it gets kind of darker, sort of the nature of this pedal, and it kind of hisses a little bit, but not too bad. So let's hear all the modulation options we have. We turn the mix all the way up. It gets fully affected, 100% affected sound. This is 50-50, and then we have dry. And we can crank the depth, but crank down the mix, so we can kind of get very chorusy, but yet still have a little bit of the dry signal. All right, so that's all the controls. So let's go to the module shape. We have depth and we have warp. So let's hear the warp. Let's hear how the wave is gonna go quicker and then slow down. Here's the middle. All right, so and here is the wave shapes for each of the halves of the wave. So we have sine wave. All right, so now let's go to the module shape box here, and this depth and wave controls are the center point of the modulation. And in the middle, it basically the wave's even. To the left, we have the wave going up quicker, going down slower. This is going up slower and going down quicker. And I'll demonstrate that for you. Also, we have these two toggle switches right here. This basically controls the first half of the wave. Basically, you can select the wave shapes for the first half of the modulation wave, and this is for the second half. This is the beginning of the wave. We can choose sine wave, triangle, or square wave. So let's go to square wave on both of them. Let's go on the ending of the wave. Let's go to the sine. And we can mess with the warp to even get it even more modulated. I have the settings kind of extreme so you can hear exactly what's going on. So and if we can set both to sine triangle, and we can do sine on the beginning and let's say a square wave on the ending. We get kind of a chorusy effect when we blend in the dry signal. And all the way to the right is the wet signal of the vibrato or chorus or whatever's going on. And I'm cranking these to the extreme to kind of hear what's going on exactly. And we can also tap in our tempo here. we add some delay, we can get really cool sounds. It's a bit of a chorusy sound, but it just sounds beautiful, really warm. So let's go back to some of the functions. We got the modu shape down. It does all these cool warbly stuff if you kind of crank things and kind of mess with these switches. Tap is pretty explanatory, 1, 2, and 4. It's basically, this is 2, so it'll be kind of double time every time we press the and 4 is 4 notes per each tap. And this is whole notes. Okay, so now onto the presets. We have 2 presets on this pedal. We got green, and to the right we have red. And in the middle position is what the knobs are set to. That's the sound we'll have. So to save, let's say to our green preset, the switch doesn't even have to be in the green preset mode. What we do is hold the left foot switch first, and then hold the right, and then we'll have a blinking green, and we're set. So when we go to this green setting, we will have our green preset. Now let's go to the middle, and let's say we tweak some knobs. We like the sound we have. And then we'll start with holding the right foot switch and then the left, and then it blinks red, and now we saved it to the red preset. So when we go to the red preset, let's go over the green preset. Red. How cool is that? Now let's go over to the back of this pedal. It's got a lot of switches, and let's check that out. Okay, so this is the warped vinyl analog vibrato chorus, and we're looking at the back of the pedal. And we got a bunch of switches here. So the first 8, we can turn on these functions: volume, mix, RPM, which is sort of our time, sort of our vibrato time, and then depth and warp. What we can do is turn these switches on, and then we can control with this ramp setting here. When we turn on the pedal, it if this is up, like let's say volume, it's on, and we have a rise and fall. This second bank of 8 switches controls what the volume does. Does it rise or it falls? And this knob on the ramp here, it basically controls how quick it rises or falls. And this is a cool feature. So let's say with the volume we could do swells, and right now it is on fall, which is this second set of 8 switches. So let's go to the rise. So it'll go, we're on this setting here, volume rise, and our function is on. So when the pedal is on, it'll kick into this sequence, which it can how quickly it rises we set with this ramp knob. So it's a little bit confusing to get your head around, but let's hear how it works. So here's the clean signal. Let's hit the bypass switch and we'll go into this ramp sequence. So let's set it to rise slower. Let's set it to rise quick. And so that's how that goes. And we can do that with a mix. We can have it rise or fall, and we can set the mix. Let's try that. Let's go to the mix. We'll turn on that option here, and then we'll go rise on the second little switch here. Switches are kind of hard to turn on sometimes. All right, so basically it'll control this, and our parameter has to be up all the way, and that way we'll control the full sweep. Okay, so here's our ramp. Let's try this. Go really slow, so it'll go from clean guitar into all the way into vibrato territory. So if you can hear it swept all the way into the vibrato, so we can do it quicker. So that's a really cool feature of this pedal. It just takes some switch fiddling around with. And so we can do that with the time, the RPM, the depth, the warp. And it's a cool function called bounce. And if we hit this, it'll basically make the volume go up and down. And well, not just the volume. It'll take any parameter and whatever we select before it. Let's say volume. So we create like a tremolo effect. And I believe we can select multiple things for it to do our ramp. Let's do the mix with it. Let's hear how that sounds like. And all of this can be stored on the presets, no matter where our switches are set, because it's digitally controlled. And this is a really fun pedal. Once we kind of get into the switches, and then we can even do rate here. You can even turn on some of these switches here. RPM, see what that does. really cool. We can just kind of modulate everything and animate everything, I guess in video terms. So that's bounce. Lo-fi basically cuts the highs of this pedal and turns it into kind of a lo-fi machine. So that's lo-fi, and then the Mobi is we only have the effect. It's a momentary switch that this bypass pedal becomes. So that's really cool. And then the rest of these switches on this second bank control just basically controls our R means stands for ramp, and then V for vibrato, and allows user to tap in the instead of setting the ramp, we can set with this tap switch what the ramp does on our special sequences here. So it's a little confusing, but once you wrap your head around it. So that's R and V. So it's set to V by default. And we have divisions here. One basically runs our 1, 2, 4. And if we hit the switch to up here, it'll run, when we go to 3, it'll be in the 3, 6, and 8 subdivision modes. And then sweep, basically, this controls a ramp sweep. It's for expression pedals, and basically on the T, it goes top of the ramp, and where our knob is set, let's say like volume, and the T and the B is basically controls expression from where your pot is set all the way to the maximum, and the other one controls the where the pot is set and to the minimum. So that's what that does. And so thank you for watching, and that is the in-depth review on the Chase Bliss Audio Warped Vinyl.